Let's talk about an ancient method for building some serious mental fortitude. I'm talking about a way to become unshakable, calm, and totally focused, no matter what kind of chaos the world decides to throw at you. So, let's break down how this old school wisdom can completely change your modern life.
Okay, first things first. We have to get to the root of so much of our daily stress. And it all starts with this fundamental misunderstanding, really. A myth we've all been told our entire lives about what we should and shouldn't be trying to control.
I mean, just think about it for a second. From your parents to your teachers to your boss, the message is always the same, right? Be in charge. Take responsibility for every single outcome. Manage every little detail. But is that advice actually helping us? Or could it be the very thing that's making us so anxious?
And this right here, this is the huge shift in thinking we need to make. The myth on the left tells us to control every outcome. Other people, events, the results of our work. It's an impossible job and it is absolutely exhausting. But the Stoic truth on the right, it's completely different and way more empowering. It says, hey, forget trying to control the world. Focus all of that energy on the one and only thing you truly can control: yourself, your thoughts, your reactions, your character.
And this is the real heart of the problem, isn't it? That constant struggle, that white-knuckled grip on things that are fundamentally outside of our control, that's where all the mental noise comes from. It's the source of our frustration, our anxiety. The attempt to control everything costs you the one thing you actually want, your own inner peace.
So, if letting go is the answer, what do we actually get out of it? Well, this brings us to the big prize, the Stoic ideal. A type of freedom that's so much deeper and more achievable than the ones we usually chase after.
In our society, we value all these external freedoms, and rightly so. The freedom to speak our minds, to make our own choices, to live how we want. But Stoicism points to something way deeper, something more personal: the freedom from your own mind, from anxiety, from anger, from those obsessive thoughts that just loop over and over. This is an internal freedom. Nobody can give it to you, and more importantly, nobody can ever take it away.
And that is the crucial point. This isn't something you're just born with or something you can buy. This inner freedom is a skill. It's something that has to be practiced and developed and built intentionally, day by day. Think of it like your own personal fortress.
So how do we start building it? This brings us to the fun part, the practical, actionable stuff. We're about to walk through 5 powerful Stoic tools that you can start using literally today to build this freedom and become, well, mentally untouchable. Let's start with tool number 1. And honestly, this is the foundation of the entire practice. Pretty much everything else is built on top of this one core idea. It's called the dichotomy of control. And it all boils down to one simple, ridiculously powerful question you ask yourself anytime you feel stressed or angry or worried. Is this really within my control? That's it. And the answer is almost always a very clear yes or a very clear no.
And what you do next is just beautifully simple. If the answer is yes, then you act. You do something about it. If the answer is no, you release it. You let it go. Think about it. You're stuck in traffic. Can you control the cars ahead of you? Nope. But you can control your reaction. You can get angry, or you can listen to a podcast. You're worried about a presentation. Can you control what your boss thinks? Nope. But you can control how well you prepare. By only focusing on what you can actually influence, you eliminate like 90% of your mental clutter. Okay, on to our second tool. Now, where the first tool helps us deal with the present moment, this one is all about proactively building our resilience for whatever life decides to throw at us down the road. This is called negative visualization. And before you say anything, no, it is not about being pessimistic. It's a strategic mental exercise. You just briefly imagine losing something you really value: your job, maybe your health, a relationship. And the point isn't to scare yourself. It's to do 2 things. First, it floods you with gratitude for what you have right now, in this moment. And second, it mentally prepares you for hardship, which softens the blow if loss ever actually happens.
Next step, tool number 3. This one is so simple, but it is incredibly effective for managing one of our most destructive emotions: anger.
The Roman philosopher Seneca, he was a really smart dude. He noticed that anger is like a fire. It burns incredibly hot, but it also burns out really fast. So his advice was to create a little circuit breaker. When you feel that flash of anger, just do nothing. Pause, count to 10. That little gap is often all you need for that initial emotional storm to just blow over. It lets your rational mind catch up so you can respond with logic instead of just reacting on pure impulse.
Now for our fourth tool. So the other tools have been mostly mental exercises, right? This one is about proactively building both physical and mental toughness through deliberate practice. This is the practice of voluntary discomfort. It just means choosing to do something a little bit hard every single day. Things like taking a cold shower, or waking up a little earlier than you want to, or really pushing yourself in a workout. The principle behind it is simple, but it's brilliant. When you regularly and intentionally choose to do hard things, the unplanned difficulties that life throws at you just seem so much smaller. You're literally training your mind and body to handle adversity. And that brings us to our fifth and final tool. Now this one might sound a little dark at first, but I promise you it is one of the most freeing concepts in all of Stoicism.
Memento Mori. It's Latin, and it means, remember you must die. Now, the Stoics weren't trying to be morbid here. They were just being realists. By keeping the temporary nature of your own life in mind, you gain the ultimate perspective on what truly, truly matters. And this just perfectly illustrates the benefits. When you remember that your time here is limited, you just instinctively stop wasting it. You stop wasting time on pointless arguments, on social media drama, on all the other nonsense. You stop sweating the small stuff. And maybe, most importantly, you stop putting off the things that actually give your life meaning. It gives you the ultimate perspective, and it pushes you to live with purpose and urgency right now.
So you practice these 5 tools: the dichotomy of control, negative visualization, the 10-second pause, voluntary discomfort, and memento mori. What's the result? What's the big payoff? Well, you start to develop what the Stoics called the untouchable mind.
And I want you to just take a second and genuinely imagine this. What would it actually feel like to wake up tomorrow and go through your entire day with this sense of deep inner peace? A calm that has nothing to do with what's happening around you. Imagine being truly unbothered by what other people think of you. Imagine not being consumed by anxiety about what might go wrong in the future. Imagine being free from the weight of regret about what's already happened in the past. Imagine just genuinely accepting the things you simply cannot change. This isn't some kind of superpower. It's the result of consistent practice. It is inner freedom.
And this brings us to the final and probably the most important lesson here. It all comes back to that very first idea we talked about: control. What are you going to choose to hold on to? And what are you going to choose to let go of?
See, in the end, true strength isn't found in controlling the world around you. It's found in mastering the world within you. When you finally release your grip on everything external and you hold on only to what truly belongs to you, your thoughts, your actions, your character, that's when you build that internal fortress. That's when you become untouchable.
And so we're going to end with a question for you to take with you, because this isn't just a theory, it's a practice that starts right now. So look at your life. Look at your worries, your stresses. Based on everything we just talked about, what is one thing, just one, that you can consciously decide to release control over starting today?